continue with Dr. Raḥele, who is the chairman of the World Hazara Council, which represents Hazara communities around the world. The World Hazara Council is a non-political organization with the aim of promoting the cultural, social, and civil rights of the Hazara people. The World Hazara Council was formally inaugurated in early 2013, and the first meeting took place here in Vienna. Dr. Koyer will address the current situation in Afghanistan and also focus on women's role in economic development and their potential contribution to the society. Dr. Koyer, you have the floor.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to attend here in this conference. It's a pleasure to attend here in this conference, and I would like to express my gratitude in having the opportunity to talk about Afghanistan and amplify the voice of women, marginalized population, and minorities in Afghanistan. Obviously, freedom of religion is the fundamental of human rights as it is in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I'm going to talk about my experiences and lessons I learned for the importance of religious freedom and sustainable peace and development. I originally belong to a country where has been continuous war and violence for the last 4 decades. I have been raised in the war and experienced the violences alive from the former Soviet Union invasion in 1978 to civil war and Taliban rule in 1990s, and then Taliban insurgency. During this period of time, the minority faith and marginalized population have been the primary target who were tortured, imprisoned, and killed because of their different faith and beliefs. Most of the faith minority groups such as Jewish, Hindu, and Sikh left Afghanistan because they faced torture and persecution for their faith affiliation. Where it has been a pro-communist party of rule or the Taliban, they fear from freedom and freedom of religion. I have raised in a Shia Muslim culture. When I was a 9-year-old girl, my understanding from my faith was we are in the faith of God. However, I couldn't express myself as a Shia because I might face harassment and discrimination. With time passing, I realized that each faith has its moral value, but it should be kept personal and it should not be tried to impose it on others. Instead, we should respect others, whether they are believers or non-believers. Each faith should be understood and respected to keep a peaceful track without any fear and persecution. Further, I'm belonging to Hazara ethnic. The Hazara in Afghanistan have a long history of a state-sponsored systematic operation against them based on their ethnicity and faith. On 25 September 1893, the semi-autonomous region of Hazaristan was invaded by Amir Abdurrahman, the king, with the decree of apostasy against Hazara. This decree of apostasy against Hazara resulted in the abolishment of 60% of Hazara's population on that time. Then, under the Taliban regime in the late 1990s, Hazaras faced at least 9 cases of massacres. In one instance, the Taliban massacred over 2,000 Hazaras in Mazar Sharif, according to Human Rights Watch. Although other sources have recorded the number of victims in this single instance over 15,000. According to recent data, the Hazaras in Afghanistan have been targeted 300 mass attacks since 2002 up to date. Currently, under the Taliban de facto authority, the freedom of belief is a taboo. Although female education and working opportunities for women, freedom of speech, and freedom of assembly are banned for all people in Afghanistan. But for the Hazara, as an ethnic and faith minority group, is a special environment of fear, anxiety, persecution, torture, forced displacement, and killing. Afghanistan, where freedom is prohibited, there is no chance for equality, quality education, and development to be optimistic for the sustainability. Based on those facts of Afghanistan, since 1994, I have been an advocate of women's rights and human rights, working for education and health services and women economic empowerment. I started my activities to empower women and communities through education and providing healthcare services during the Civil War in the 1990s, and I continued my activities until 2014. I realized that education is the essential step to develop the capabilities of each individual to have his own choice and fight for their rights and freedom. Currently, I'm chairing the World Hazara Council to amplify the voice of Hazaras, marginalized population, and religious minorities in Afghanistan for justice and freedom. We believe that sustainable peace and development need to recognize and execute freedom and equality. Finally, freedom of religion is the fundamental of human rights. However, it is not only a moral issue, it is also a security concern and responsibility. We need to call for action at the policy level for a safe, secure, and sustainable world. We also need more action to increase the public awareness about their rights and responsibilities and freedom of religion by conducting broader debate and conversation. We need to bridge the minority groups in a greater groups and talk about the issues, share the experiences, and also establish network to know each other and also understand the beauty of diversity and pluralism and freedom. However, Afghanistan needs a special attention on freedom and on freedom of religion and also sustainable development. This need is based on the different political and cultural setting. First, Afghanistan should have a legitimate and inclusive government based on check and balance, and the voice of marginalized population, religion minorities, women, and Hazara should be heard for justice and equality. Certainly, this is the voice for freedom and human dignity. Let's come together and start broader conversation to eliminate prejudice and fear and to foster freedom, faith, peace, and development. Thank you.